Friends, I'm still teary-eyed and emotional from seeing Filipe Luís being applauded as he arrived at the press conference. I'm proud of this team and their achievements, of the year they gave us, a year when my son was born, a fantastic year. And we see that the reason for pride at Coach Luis Henrique's press conference. I will bring here Filipe Luis's press conference, and later I'll bring the mixed zone. With Flamengo players, we are really proud of this fantastic team. Luis Henrique said the following: as we analyze, Flamengo is not a team that just wins, but one that plays good soccer. Look how cool that is, man. Maybe one of the best teams that Paris Saint-Germain has faced. This all-powerful Paris Saint-Germain knows how to defend at any moment, whether pressing high or at the back. Very good level, a compact team with very good players and with a clear team mentality similar to ours. Of course, he has the level to coach in Europe and at any club in the world. Filipe Luis is still very young. He just started his career as a coach. His teams will keep playing good soccer because they play in a very recognizable way. Yeah, so Luis Henrique is praising Flamengo a lot, making it clear that it was unbelievable to play against a team from outside Europe playing soccer like that. Except for that Chelsea from the Club World Cup final. They took advantage of their opportunities, played well defensively, and managed to take Paris Saint-Germain out of their comfort zone, forcing the match to go to penalties. He emphasized Flamengo's consistently strong defense, especially its solid defensive line. I want to praise Gonçalo Plata for his strong defensive positioning and overall performance in attack and defense. Plata and Bruno Henrique both played very well. That's Flamengo. He played great, man. Polga was excellent. While he was on the field, De La Cruz came in really well. Look, everyone did really well, really well. It's worth highlighting here that Zanotto, subtitle Adriana Zanotto, subtitle Adriana Zanotto, subtitle Adriana Zanotto. 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 Subtitle Adriana Zanotto.
Sottile Zanotto.
Subtitle Adriana Zanotto.
Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto.
Subtitle Adriana Zanotto, subtitle Adriana Zanotto, subtitle Adriana Zanotto. It's that feeling, but at the same time, I'm very proud of my players. What they did today is historic for me. Of course, we were so close, right? Penalty shootout, you can't get any closer than that. Against a team of this level, it's very difficult, but it wasn't possible. But the mental part, I already knew this team is mentally very strong. It always has been throughout the whole year, in every final, in every moment of the competition. When the team needed them most, these players stepped up. Today was no exception. They fought for every ball, for every inch, for every space on the field against an absolutely amazing team. It's admirable the way they play, how good they are, and their coach, how good he is. And that's why I feel even prouder of what my players have done, not just today, but throughout the whole season. I feel very proud of them.
Good evening, Filipe, Luís, Chico, Moedas, Cassette Television first. Congratulations again for the year and this match. We knew the match against Bayern in the Super World Cup was a big challenge. We saw a bigger difference back then than we do now, with Flamengo facing Paris Saint-Germain. What do you think made Flamengo perform better in today's match? And if you can talk about it, if not, that's okay. What did you say to the players, to this group in the locker room? Thank you.
I don't agree with what Bayern did. Bayern scored the goals at the beginning, 2-0, and then the game. Still, our team recovered. We tried to play at all times and even managed at several moments in the game to take possession away from Bayern. And today it's simply almost impossible to take possession away from Paris. It's a team that lost possession once to Bayern Munich in the Club World Cup and twice in last year's Champions League semi-final. Paris Saint-Germain under Luiz Henrique against Arsenal, which was 51, and they're very good. They play really well. There are a lot of tactical variations. They move in a way that you lose all your references. An excellent team. We managed with our own tools to neutralize a bit of that lethal attack they have, but it wasn't enough to win. Yes, to be able to even out this match, we'll try to stop that attack, as I said, so lethal, and manage to tie the game in regular time.
Presence. Evening, I'm MR from Otanilo. Actually, it was a good game, coach, and Flamengo is very close to the title. And I feel like, let's say, the goalkeeper of Paris Saint-Germain makes it really hard for Flamengo. Actually, what makes it hard? Goalkeeper or the team or tactical? But thank you, coach.
Well, hard, I guess Paris Saint-Germain, everything is hard. They have an amazing squad, and for me, the best coach, not just for me. He won the prize yesterday, the best coach in the world, and the way they behave tactically is amazing, amazing. It's a masterpiece. So I'm a huge fan of Luis Henrique, and also the quality of the players of Paris Saint-Germain. They play fantastically and they deserve to win. They won everything, and the goalkeeper is good too. So we went far, we went to the penalty kicks, and that's little details, and we lost, but that's okay. I'm really proud of my team.
Question in Arabic. Yusuf Sharif Al Nahar Al Jazeera, coach, we saw your team enter the second half at a good level and was the best in this match. We would like to know what tips and comments Filipe Luís gave to his player that changed the performance in that way. Second question, when can we see Coach Filipe Luís as a coach in the major European leagues, especially at the beginning of a great coaching journey with the teams he has coached so far? Or have you not received the appropriate offers so far? Thank you.
Português. Luís Luiz received no offers. My mind was only focused on this game, this final for Flamengo, because it was better for Flamengo. Question in Arabic. In Arabic, take their possession and keep it. But it's a very strong team. They press really well physically. They're very strong. They can handle a lot of effort. And they also have a lot of tactical variations, which makes it difficult when you try to press this team. But at halftime, I tried to adjust things in a way to create difficulties and cause doubts in Paris's pressing. That gave us a certain advantage, a bit more time with the ball, and we felt a little better. But when they have the ball, they use it to defend. They wear you down with long possessions, 2, 3, even 4 minutes, which is exhausting. And that's our goal. Players with 76 games in the season got really tired in the second half, in overtime, but they pushed themselves to their limit. That's why I'm so proud.
And Filipe, good evening back here. Sidão Marinho from Litoral News. It was a heck of a season with ups and downs, but one of the greatest seasons in Flamengo's history. But Zanotto, and today your team was very, very, very close to conquering the world again. You ended up losing on penalties. I wanted your assessment, both from the emotional side, but also about how the players took their penalty kicks. And based on this defeat that Flamengo had, but playing really well, we know that you have a very big ambition. Can we say that Filipe Luís will stay next year to try for another great season? And maybe even the Intercontinental World Cup? Thank you.
First of all, it was really an incredible season. Like you said, it was a magical, historic season. The players have become part of Flamengo's history forever. They would have become even more so if the penalty shootout had gone our way, since the margin is so thin. But these players are historic. All of them, everyone who was part of this squad played their part and made their mark in history. And it's a very successful group, very ambitious, and I have no doubt that they will continue with the same ambition next year. About the future, it's not the time yet to... I'm still mourning the game, but it's not just up to me, and we hope that things will be sorted out in the next few days.
Filipe Letícia Marques from GE. Yeah, on top of that, a bit about the issue of the penalty kicks. I know it was already in overtime. You had already made the 6 substitutions. But I wanted to know how the conversation went to decide the penalty takers, the order. How was that moment there?
Thank you, as always. The available players are those who train, 10 or 11 if you include Rossi. I know who trains better, who asks to take it, who's more confident, and the order. They choose how they feel most comfortable. And at that moment, the players who were on the field, in my view, were the best to take the shot. But forget about the penalties. There could have been penalties. They missed 2. Unfortunately, we missed 4. It's very hard to take a penalty. You have to have a lot of courage to take a penalty. You have to have a lot of courage to take a penalty for 50 million fans, and that's the only thing I'm proud of. But I've already missed several penalties. I would really like people not to talk about the penalties, but instead talk about the effort these players put in throughout the whole season, in a historic season.
Does Filipe know? A look at Flavio's column, it's obvious that it's common for us to talk about the season, which really was beautiful. Everyone, the fans, recognize that. From what we've seen on social media and in recent press conferences, you noted that I remember some criticisms, possibly from the press, but mainly from many fans at times. But now, what do we understand? At least from what I've noticed on social media today, it would be a plus. We have a bitter taste because we got really close, maybe closer than most expected. But the season as a whole was wonderful. I was going to ask about the penalties. What counts more? You avoid discussing penalties because some consider them a lottery. Some say it's about mental preparation, others focus on technical preparation. Do you think there's a single best definition? It's odd to see a team win after missing 2, isn't it? We expected that with the loss of the 2 missed penalties by Paris Saint-Germain, they would be the losers today.
And We expected that the team that lost, right? We expected the winner, right? We expected that the one who lost would come out as the winner, right? The winner, right? Zanotto. Details for the goalkeepers, and probably today's Paris Saint-Germain goalkeeper must have studied very well. Just simply because he waited for Pedro's penalty, because he stayed in the middle for Leo's penalty. It seems like he watched our training yesterday. So really credit to Paris, who weren't just champions in the penalty shootout. They also had a fantastic season and deserved it. So I prefer to congratulate Paris, his goalkeeper, who saved all those penalties and made his team champions.
Samuel Saber, I got the news today. Egypt, first of all, please don't be sad because you came to Qatar and won 2 championships and lost the other. So the Flamengo team is not well prepared for the matches.
I feel sad because I don't like to lose. When I lose, I feel it because it hurts. It's going to be a mourning period. I know myself, it's normal. We all go through this. It doesn't erase what we did during the season, but this morning, it exists. And again, with the penalties, for sure they were ready. They trained for this, but I focus on the game and the season the team had.
Alonso Cabral from Fox Mexico Noche is asking you in Spanish, have you been talking about how you feel at this moment? But could this be your first big disappointment as a coach after such an extraordinary start to your career? And what could you tell us as a player and as a coach? Those little details that have made it impossible to beat teams from the American continent, Europe, 13, 14 years are going to be born.
Well, it was the first defeat. There haven't been finals that we've had with this group. Me as a coach, and well, it wasn't against a minor opponent. It was against Luis Henrique's Paris Saint-Germain, against a team that made history, that won 6 titles: Champions League, Cup, Super Cup, European Super Cup, and now the Club World Cup. And it's a team that plays in a fantastic way, with the best coach, with the Ballon d'Or winner on their team. And you have to admire them. Honestly, you have to congratulate them for what they've done, for the coach they have. Actually, yesterday, I think you saw for 40 games or less, 40 games. And each one I watched made me feel worse, left me with a worse feeling. Because Paris always played well, and every time I watched, he always played better. And even so, we managed to take it to penalties. Knowing how to suffer, we suffered, but my team competed a lot. We were very close. I'm very proud of that, very proud of that. There will come a time when a South American will win. But the level that Europeans have, even the elite European coaches, is incredible. Actually, I'm impressed.
Filipe, good evening. Fernando Valerio de Barros from Football. First, congratulations to you, the team, and coaching staff for an outstanding campaign and year. I have 2 questions. First, how did you analyze the 120 minutes in which Flamengo, for a good part of the match, struggled? They struggled but still managed to score the equalizer. And I wanted you to analyze this mental battle, what penalties are. I mean, at what moment during the penalties do you think Sofronov won that contest? Was it decisive that it tipped, bam, it was over? Tell me.
Tell me. The moment he chooses to go to the left and the guy shoots to the corner, that's when he goes. It's about choices, decisions. If he jumps to the other side and the ball goes where the player shot, the ball goes in. It's all about choices, decisions. And once again, it doesn't define what the game was. It doesn't define what the season was. Forget the penalties. We got to the penalties. It was already a big achievement to reach the penalties against this team that, right from the start of the game, imposed their rhythm, that pressured us in a way. That was too aggressive, making it hard for us to play out from the back. Still, my team tried to play at every moment, which made me proud. No one hid from the game. And then with the tactical variations they made within their own structure, they created difficulties for us. We couldn't press in any way. They came in, but then we had an incredible, flawless performance from Alexandro, a flawless performance from Varela, from both center backs, from Plata, from the defensive midfielders who ended up playing as attacking midfielders, already dropping back around the 60th minute of the second half. Why? Because I stopped. It makes you chase the ball. It makes you tired. They wear you out. They push you back. No matter how much you want to press, you can't get out of your own box. Their possessions last 5 minutes, 4 minutes, because they're good, and I have no problem admitting that they're very good, no problem. On the contrary, I admire it when I see with my own eyes a team that's so well trained and with such great quality. All I can do is applaud and congratulate them, and not just for the penalties.
Filipe here. Good evening, Filipe. I imagine that right now you're probably feeling two kinds of pain. The pain as a coach, as a football professional, and the pain as a fan. You were born in 85, so you didn't see Flamengo's title in 81. But I want to know which part hurts you more right now, the professional side. You trained these athletes all year, went through the season with them, and today would be their peak. Flamengo back on top of the world. Thank you.
I think it's a mix of everything, but it's because I really believed it was possible and the players really believed it was possible too. Today there wasn't any of that, like, oh, they respected too much. No, the players didn't hold back and competed. They broke up plays, got yellow cards, fought until the end, and that was a lot. I think the pain comes from the fact that we were so close to this title, I'm sorry. So I think if it had been like the Champions League final where Paris won, I think it was 5-0 in the game, maybe I wouldn't be here with this pain. But since it was so close and I believed so much and the players did too, it hurts more.
Filipe Raiza Simplicio from Gol Brasil and Placa magazine. Congratulations on Flamengo's great match. And I wanted to hear from you your assessment in the press conference that you mentioned. Let's see who the best team is, whether there's competition or not. And today we saw that there's a lot of competition. I wanted to understand from you if you believe that this gap, right? Flamengo played this year against Chelsea, against Bayern, and now against Paris Saint-Germain. Do you see that in a way Flamengo has narrowed this gap a little with these big European teams, right? And do you believe in this Flamengo project? Is it possible that it will take less time for Flamengo to return here for an intercontinental final than it did in the last period?
They're better, and then think Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain better, simple as that. I have no problem admitting that. The players themselves know the quality of their players, their team, the physical strength, the intelligence, the technique, everything. We have one of the world's largest budgets. We have a team that's capable of competing against a great powerhouse like Paris Saint-Germain, like Chelsea, like Bayern. We are capable of competing. It's in a game, right? But of course, there's no problem admitting that they're simply better. But within our reality in the championship we compete in, we're a step ahead of the others, with some clubs getting very close, for Cruzeiro and Palmeiras. Atletico Mineiro itself, a few years ago, was also very close to Flamengo and even won. And that allows you to fight for titles, allows you to be competing again, to win a Libertadores, to win a Brazilian championship. It doesn't guarantee you'll win. There are many details. We've already gone through some games like that with difficulties because the teams compete as well. They also know how to do what we did with Paris today. Compete, use our strengths, and teams do that against us too. Therefore, having a big budget leads you to compete. It doesn't guarantee winning, but Flamengo's goal is always to win, always to fight for every title.
Filipe Pereira from Gold Channel. We saw throughout this whole competition praise from Mexican, Egyptian, Tunisian journalists and so on for Brazilian soccer. And at times looking up when they talked about Brazilian soccer and also about Flamengo. And sometimes back in Brazil, we end up downplaying our soccer. We end up referring to it looking up to Europe from way below. I would even like to expand on that a bit. That actually has to do with Raís's question. On this maybe imaginary shelf of world soccer, where does Brazilian soccer stand? Not just Flamengo. Where do you see Brazilian soccer?
These comparisons are hard to make because in the time slots that exist on sports programs, what plays? Flamengo would fit in the Premier League, but it's not going to play in the Premier League. It's not going to play in the Champions League. I don't like wasting time on things that aren't useful, you know. But it's obvious that it's a team with much bigger players and budgets. They have a much greater chance of winning. In our reality, in what our soccer is, Flamengo is a step above most clubs, not all clubs, because of the budget they have. I've always wondered this about the Libertadores. Why haven't Argentine teams reached the finals lately? Because the Brazilian teams have better budgets. Comparing is pointless. Everyone should focus on themselves. Like you said about the compliments, we are criticized a lot every day, and we accept it. We know the work. We chose to be here because it's very hard to get to the point of fighting for titles, to stay at the top. So the hardest thing now for Flamengo is to keep fighting and competing for titles. That's the only thing that interests me. Yes.
Coach, congratulations on making it this far. You didn't win, but congratulations. I'm Gary from Sporting Net Brazil. When you came in, did you notice how they applaud for you here and they give you applause? Do you feel that love from Flamengo fans all over Brazil and all over the world? And if you do, how hard is it to make the decision to stay with Flamengo or inevitably to move to Europe soon? Thank you.
You started clapping, right? You were blue. I saw it. Well, thank you. Thank you for the applause. Thank you. We feel that we made our supporters proud of us. We know that I think the supporters, they feel represented by the players, by the efforts they made in every game, the way they behaved, the way they played, everything they had inside the pitch. So I think we know that. Me, I don't like to talk about myself. I like to talk about the club, the team, the players. But I love my club. I love to be here, and I hope I can stay many more years.
Good evening, Gabriel Orfam, Canal Paparazzo Rubro-Negro and Placa Magazine. First, I want to congratulate you on your first full year as Flamengo's coach. And, well, I wanted you to give an overview of your year in general. Of course, there's that feeling that Flamengo came so close, but ended up not getting this title that's so important. Still, it was an incredible, unforgettable year for fans. Just like, for example, 2019 was. How do you evaluate your first year at Flamengo? If I may, I'd also appreciate your assessment of Varela, who was impeccable again. Thank you.
I evaluate it as a year in which I need a vacation. I need 76 games. The coach doesn't get injured. He doesn't get suspended. He joins every trip, studies all opponents, attends every training, and makes all game plans. And it was a very long season. It was a real odyssey, and I think it was splendid. It was fantastic from the start, especially in that Super Cup match against Botafogo, which was one of our team's best performances. Then I started the Carioca, 8 classics and the Carioca title. Then the start of the Brasileirão, fighting for everything, the Club World Cup. The truth is that we didn't give the Copa do Brasil the same importance we gave it last year, but the Libertadores, we fought tooth and nail. We managed to win this long dreamed of title, and we won the Brasileirão, which for me is the hardest national championship to win, one of the toughest in the world. A perfect 10 today. It has a lot of sentimental value for the fans, for everyone, even for me as a world champion. But it's just one game. A single game can't define what the whole season was. For me, the season was flawless.
Filipe, how are you? I'm from AS Newspaper in Spain and wanted to ask you, Well, first of all, congratulations on the extraordinary season you've had, which obviously makes your name come up inevitably in Spain, in Europe, and so on. How do you think that process is going to be, and at what stage of the process are you right now? And how do you think your next steps are going to happen from now on? Thank you.
All right. I honestly don't know, because it's true that my contract is ending, and right now we're in talks to renew. Everyone knows my dream. Obviously, I dream of going back to Europe one day. I've prepared a lot for that. For now, my reality is Flamengo. I'm here. I'm very happy with these players. The players have given everything for me, for the club, and I feel represented. I feel like it's me out there on the field when I watch my team, and that makes me very proud. Therefore, the only thing I control is what will happen tomorrow. A conversation between the president and me and the vote, and from there we will decide if we will see each other or what will happen in the future. But for now, nothing more. Thank you.
I'm from Sri Lanka, Sky Tamil Media. My question is, how was your experience in Qatar? Overall experience, especially in the stadium, facilities, and organizing?
Whenever Federation International, the Football Association, and UEFA organize, it's wonderful, it's very well organized. The organization was impeccable. We had all the facilities in the world. In Qatar, we were very well received. But I left here with a bitter taste, with a silver medal, so I didn't leave very happy, but yes, I arrived very happy. And I'm very grateful for all the hospitality, for the warm welcome from the Qatari people, and I hope to come back. Okay, thank you.